The passage of a regulation bill, a financial reform bill, is it now a sure thing because of the Goldman charges? Republican Congressman of Texas, Ron Paul, joins us on the phone from Lake Jackson in Texas. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. The premise of my question and the premise of the interview is, bearing in mind the Goldman charges, does this now make financial reform more likely, indeed a certainty?
I think so, yes. I don't know about the certainty, but yes, it's more likely, and I always assume there would be more regulation, so this more or less supports that position, which I think is exactly the opposite way to go. I think this whole episode of the SEC now filing charges against Goldman Sachs, it proves the SEC is inefficient. You know, they're supposed to prevent problems, and here they're coming up 3 years late making charges. And what do we want to do? Give them more power to regulate, and I think they've proved that they're a total failure.
What's your general position on the big banks, the big investment firms of Wall Street? Do you think they're up to tricks? Do you think that they are tricking us? Is it, I hate to use the word conspiracy, but are they ganging up to beat up on the little guy?
Absolutely, and it's the system, and it's the Federal Reserve system of money and banking that invites this. Bigness alone isn't the reason. You know, if you had free market banking and people were honest, not committing fraud, and they had a lot of customers, I would think that is fine. But if they're big because they had inside information from the Fed and they get loans at 0% from the Fed and they can go out and do all the gambling they want, I mean that's where it's wrong, and the little guy gets squeezed. Right now, they're making money on Wall Street, but the little guy has trouble getting a loan, and the people are still losing their houses. So it's rigged against the little person. So
to sum it up, you think that we are going to get pretty draconian new regulation of Wall Street, and it's going to happen in the very near future?
Always does. It happened in the Depression. It prolonged the Depression. After Enron, we had Sarbanes-Oxley, and yet all the fraud of Enron was taken care of by anti-fraud laws in Texas. They all went to jail. It didn't last nearly this long. And here, when you defend on the SEC, this SEC, like the Federal Reserve, creates the moral hazard. Everybody says, oh, the Federal Reserve is there. They'll take care of us, lender of last resort. SEC, oh, they're out there checking these guys, so they must all be safe. They've given their approval. So it creates all this gambling and speculation. So what do we do when they finally get into trouble? Do the people wake up and say, well, it's the monetary system, it's the Federal Reserve, and it's the unwise interpretation of regulation? So what do? They give the Fed more power, and they go and give the SEC more power to regulate. You cannot regulate the mistakes made by the Federal Reserve and easy money, and that's what they're trying to do. But the people are going to go along with it. Congress is all for it. If you vote against it, to you and I, it sounds like we're sympathetic about the system, how it's unfair to the little guy, but I'm not going to vote for more of these regulations because I don't think that is the answer. But politically, it's a great story. Oh, yeah, I'm sympathizing with the little guy, so therefore all we need is a bigger SEC, which is part of the problem.
I think it's a political victory for the Obama administration. That's my opinion. I think you share it too. Congressman Ron Paul.
With you.
We appreciate you being with us, sir.
Thank you.